You're listening to The Whole Truth, a Resources Rising Stars podcast.
Hello and welcome back to The Whole Truth podcast. I'm Paul Armstrong. If you've ever played Lotto, you're going to love this episode of The Whole Truth podcast. We've got Shane Pike, the Managing Director of Great Western Exploration, on this episode. Shane's not in the studio with me, as is normally the case, because he's based in Queensland, so he's come in via a computer link today, and that's why it looks a little bit different. But that doesn't detract from the message. The message is he's about to drill a series of copper-gold exploration targets near Meekatharra in Western Australia in the hope of finding the next DeGrussa. DeGrussa, of course, is the world-famous copper-gold project of Sandfire Resources. It changed people's lives when they drilled that hole, and Shane's hoping to repeat history here with the series of targets they're about to drill. Drilling starts in 2 weeks. He's going to move from one target to the next. They've worked these targets up. Some previous holes show that they've got copper and gold, sniffs as he put it. He says that he was on the outside of the CBD and now he's looking for the centre of the CBD. It's a lovely analogy. They're going to go back to back for the next 6 months. In some cases, they'll be drilling 2 targets at the same time. There's plenty of news flow to be had here. You're not going to die wondering. They're going to move from one target to the next in the hope of finding the next DeGrussa. Have a listen to why he likes the targets, the work they've done on it, and you work out for yourself whether you think the odds here are much better than anything you're going to get at this weekend's Lotto. Shane, thanks very much for joining us today. You're about to embark on a drilling program that could change people's lives.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Paul. We're really excited about this drilling program that's coming up in about a fortnight's time. Our oval drilling program, where we're looking to be drilling a DeGrussa-style copper gold target.
Let's have a look at that, a DeGrussa-style copper gold target. Now, DeGrussa, of course, is the world famous copper gold discovery of Sandfire Resources, now mined out, but it took Sandfire from the likes of about 1 or 2 cents through to, $10, $12, $14, I think, at its peak, and made a lot of money for people who were there as part of that discovery and drill out. You're looking to repeat their success not far away.
Yeah, that's right. We're really excited with what we're seeing there. Our Yerrida North project, which just sits right next to DeGrussa, within the Yerrida Basin. This basin has had very little exploration completed on it for DeGrussa-style deposits, despite sharing similar rock types and being the same age. A little bit surprising that this style of deposit hasn't been looked for before in earnest, but that's what we're doing now with our project at Yerrida North.
So let's have a look at the whole sort of jigsaw, the Great Western jigsaw, if you like, Shane. You have several projects in this area. They're all known as the Yerrida Basin, which is near Meekatharra in Western Australia. But you divided them up, haven't you, into different areas or different names?
Yeah, that's correct. We've got almost 8 targets that we're going to be testing. Oval, Diorama, Baru, and Juggernaut. Now these styles of the targets, they're often found in clusters, and that's what we think we're seeing with the eight targets that we've got and that we're going to be soon testing.
So you think there's a relationship or a connection between those 8 targets?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and that's a big tick for this style of mineralisation. Is they're often found in clusters, and the fact that we've got that within this basin is one of these characteristics.
Yeah, that was the theory in the early days of Sandfire, wasn't it? That it was a VMS. It ticked a lot of the boxes geologically, and as you say, VMSs are meant to come in clusters. The problem was Sandfire couldn't find the other members of the cluster. But you've got a lot of smoke, haven't you? You talk about 8 targets, but they're not just, sure, it's still greenfields exploration, but you're not just pin the tail on the donkey stuff. These are targets that you've worked up. What evidence do you have thus far that there's copper and gold in these targets?
Yeah, look, good question. And you're right. We've done the science behind it. All these deposits usually have a key list of ingredients that you want to see to make them what they are. Now, just to get a little bit nerdy about this, Paul, with you, This style of deposit is basically a volcanic vent on the bottom of a seafloor that spits out sulphides, which can include copper and gold, and puts out a big plume on the bottom of the seafloor. What we're seeing with, say, our oval target, we've done drilling previously here, and there's several layers in that have a certain signature only found with these style of deposits. Now we've worked that up. We've completed geological modelling. We've completed geophysics at Oval, and what that has shown us is that really you were in the right neighbourhood for a DeGrussa-style deposit, but the data was telling us that we were basically on the outskirts of, and we were looking for the CBD. We've done a bit more work. We've recognised a zone at Oval, for instance, of higher density rocks and massive sulphides of this style of mineralisation as higher densities. We identified this area through gravity geophysics. We think this is the core of the system. So effectively, the CBD that we've been looking for, where previously we were drilling out in the suburbs. That's probably the best way to describe it. So this zone of higher density lines up perfectly with one of these layers that we identified with a DeGrussa-style signature on it, and that's what we're going to go and test with this drill hole in a fortnight's time.
So that previous drilling that you did at Oval, you did get copper and gold in the hole.
That's right. We've got sniffs, but there's also these pathfinder elements that go along with it as well that are particular and peculiar to this type of deposit. And often it's the things that are missing as well that really gives you the tick, that isn't just some shale or some sedimentary unit that you're going to find at the bottom of a deep sea.
Yeah, so you can rule out the shale as being the cause of this geophysical signature. And you know there's a mineralised system there. It's a question of trying to close in on a high grade portion that would be economic.
Yeah, absolutely. We always knew like we said, we'd already identified these several ingredients. We knew we were in the right neighbourhood. Now we believe we've found the core of this system and this volcanic vent, if you like, and that's what we're targeting with it.
So in simple terms, you're now going to go, in 2 weeks you start doing this, you're going to go and stick a hole into what you think will be the guts of it.
Yeah, perfect.
Just one hole, or will you have a couple of goes?
Depending on what we see. So we're going to be drilling a diamond hole, so you get a nice bit of core of rock that you can have a good look at. You know, you'll assay it, but you'll be also looking at the rocks, the textures. We'll put that story together. If we see sulphides within that core, that copper sulphides, we'll continue drilling on the back of success from that.
So you can play it by ear, in other words.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when you've done whatever you're going to do at Oval, you move straight to the next target.
Yeah, that's right. So our next target we'll move on to is Diorama. Diorama it's not too far away from Oval, but it was a big copper anomaly at surface. Before we go talk about these things, we always make sure we have that list of ingredients that we talked about previously before we wear our heart on our sleeve and start talking about this with real enthusiasm. And our field teams went out there, had a look at this copper anomaly, and what we found there is that the rocks where the copper anomalism was the highest were what they term gossinous, which these types of rocks can often be weathered massive sulphides of a DeGrussa-style deposit. So that gave us real encouragement. We also saw a few other rock textures as well. You remember I was saying about these volcanic vents being on the bottom of the seafloor. We're seeing that and the rock textures you'd expect to see. But importantly, this whole area is covered by really shallow creek cover, if you like, just sands, that sort of thing. And we think that's obscuring a lot of the copper mineralisation. So after Oval, when we go and drill at Diorama, we'll be drilling an air core drilling program just to poke our nose below these sediments, these really shallow sediments, seeing what's below, and hopefully define a big zone of copper mineralisation.
And what happens after Diorama? Do you roll on again?
Not too long after that, we'll go to Juggernaut. Now, Juggernaut's a really interesting one. Again, copper anomalism at the surface. Teams went out there and mapped it. Some really interesting rocks there, really nice textures, everything that you'd expect to see in a volcanic massive sulphide environment. Bottom of the seafloor, volcanic rocks, copper mineralisation. There's 6 individual targets there. So we'll be drilling about 1,800 metres of RC into that, 15 odd holes into each one of these 6 targets. So really exciting program. Concurrently with that program, we'll be drilling Baru. And now Baru, and again, despite it being right next door to DeGrussa, it's just up the road. This is a big quartz vein, 5 metres by 140 metres long. Never been defined before until our teams went out in the field and had a look. We've got really anomalous copper rock chips from that. No drilling has ever taken place there. Same as Diorama and Juggernaut. Those have never been drilled either. We'll go and drill Baru at the same time as Juggernaut, and hopefully make a copper gold discovery there as well.
So you've got 6 months of sort of back-to-back drilling in this area?
Absolutely, yes. Really exciting programs, really highly prospective programs. And the other piece to this as well, Paul, is that within this Yerrida Basin, like I said, DeGrussa deposits really haven't been looked at with any real intensity previously. We've got a stack of other targets as well, regional targets that we need to do the work on. We need to get this core list of ingredients before we start talking about them with real seriousness. But there's some really interesting things out there that we're working on now, and we'll continue to work on along with these drilling programs. And no doubt we'll be talking about these targets that we'll expect to be drilling as well.
It was always a mystery as to why Sandfire couldn't find repeats of DeGrussa, and I know they found the Monty deposit was discovered not far from that, and that was mined as part of the project. But to think that you're going to have no exploration success, you've got to subscribe to the view that DeGrussa essentially is an orphan. It's sitting out there in this country, incredibly high grade, lucrative deposit, and it's the only one.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a bit of a strange one.
It'd be like saying that there's only one gold deposit in Kalgoorlie.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. And this area, it's like I said, a little bit strange. Nickel exploration below the basin has occurred. Gold exploration below the basin has occurred, but not DeGrussa-style deposits within the basin itself. And as you say, DeGrussa is a bit of an orphan. It seems strange there's only one of them, when one of the particular characteristics of this style of deposit is that there's clusters of them.
And you've established so many common features geologically, not to mention the copper and gold sniffs that you've got. So it's not like there's no evidence to support your theory. It's not just a neurology play, it's a scientific play.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. We're not prospecting. We anyone can go out and find a bit of copper at surface, and you can go and drill that. But when every time we work on these projects, we're making this big ingredient checklist. We're crossing it off, going, yep. It's got this. This is where we think we are. This is where we think we need to put our drill rigs and aiming at this area, and that's what we're doing with our target.
So with a market cap of $12 million, 8 targets in these holes for 6 months, you only need one of these targets to come in, don't you? And anyone who's got the stock is off to the races.
Look, that's absolutely correct. No discoveries guaranteed, Paul, but with the prospectivity of these things, and if you were to snag a DeGrussa, even if you had just a little bit of Great Western, the returns could be enormous.
Yeah, by the odds of greenfields exploration, this is a relatively attractive proposition. I mean, sure, there's no guarantees, nothing like it, hence the fact that the company is only worth $12 million. But in terms of having a ticket in the lottery, this is quite an appealing set of odds.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we throw everything at this too, Paul. Our non-execs, they don't get paid in any way. They don't get paid in cash, shares, options. I don't know of any others on the ASX that can claim the same, but that's certainly the case for us. Whenever we do a capital raise, they dip in their own pocket and pay their own money for shares in the company. So that's a clear demonstration that we're throwing everything at this. We really want a discovery. Over 80% of our funds go into the ground. The way our shareholders, including our non-exec directors, how they get paid is by discovery, and that's what we're chasing.
Yeah, that's a very appealing aspect. Is 80% of the money goes into the ground. That's very high ratio.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so people giving you money through the capital raise know that virtually all of it goes into exploration.
That's exactly right. We're throwing everything at this.
I wouldn't think there's many junior explorers, Shane, out there that could claim to have that sort of flow-through rate.
Yeah, that's right. It's a little. We haven't been able to find another. I'm sure there probably is, but if so, it'd be only a handful on the ASX.
Yeah, they're putting their money where their mouth is, certainly. All right, well, 2 weeks or so, you'll be into it.
Yeah, straight into it. Really busy, highly active exploration program ahead of us. Can't wait.
Yeah, I bet you can't. It's great. Hey, thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us. This is obviously one that we are definitely going to revisit because there'll be results and the like, I would have thought, during the throes of this exploration campaign. So we'll come back and have a chat about that.
Yeah, thanks very much, Paul.
You've been listening to The Whole Truth, a Resources Rising Stars podcast, produced by Resource Media, hosted by Paul Armstrong for Reed Corporate. Please note that Reed Corporate does not provide investment advice, and investors should seek personalised advice before making any investment decisions.